At this point, I would like to introduce the co-chairs of our most recent National Narrow Gauge Convention, Steve Holllenbach and Chuck Proudfoot. Chuck and Steve are going to give us a overview of what happened, all the good things about the convention, some of the results, some of the metrics, and then a presentation on some of the contest winners for those who were not able to attend. So, Chuck and Steve, I'm going to give it to you.
Okay. Um, we're gonna start, I guess, Chuck, you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Oh, okay. Well, this is the stats slide. We came to Collinsville, we saw, we conquered, we bought, we entered models, 695, 70 vendors, 7 modular layouts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A great non-rail activities program. And I know some of you wanted to find out about blood spatter analysis. But anyway, this was an accidental, no, it wasn't accidental. It was accidental committee. It started at dinner and conversation went around that no one was bidding and it was 4 years out. And if someone didn't bid, we weren't going to have conventions anymore. And so one person at the table said, well, I'll do that. Another person said, I'll do that. And finally, we decided that everyone was willing to help, but no one was willing to chair. So we called Steve Holllenbach and said, hey, would you like to help by co-chairing? We used the subtle in there. And he said, yeah. And so we were off and running, and that's where it started. I ended up being the out person, so it was my job to find the venue, negotiate contracts, etc. And one of the big problems was we wanted to go to St. Louis area, and because of COVID, no convention center was willing to talk to us about absolutely impossible demands up front. We'd given up, and finally I called one convention center back and said, we cannot live with your, will you talk to us? And Collinsville said yes. And so we were able to negotiate a contract with the Collinsville Convention Center, Gateway Convention Center, on terms that we could actually use. So it was a very hairy beginning. Everything else, I did the upfront work. Steve was going to do all the in-house work. And so that's the way we split it up. And I think, Steve, you take on the rest now.
Yeah. Well, I was driving through lovely Mesa, Arizona. The phone rang. I was in my company truck at the time. I have since retired. And I could hear a bunch of my fellow Mud Hens members laughing in the background while Chuck was trying to talk me into being a co-chair of this thing. And my I didn't say it out loud, but in my head it was like, okay, you guys are my kind of stupid. I'll do this. Anyway, so we co-chaired, and as far as inside, I took care of a lot of things about the table layout. Richard Rands took care of vendors. We got Randy Myers to do the model contest, and I started fishing around for modular groups, and at the last minute, they kind of came in. You saw the statistics there, 695 people. That was all told. That was everybody. And a surprising number came in at the last minute. So I think it was one of these things where people are getting to be a little unsure about if they're going to conventions, but because of the nature of the thing, you have to book everything well in advance. We had to get a contract for a convention hall. We didn't have a situation like Pittsburgh where the hotel owned the convention hall. It was all separate. So Chuck had to go fishing for all these things. In the meantime, I was looking for people and ways of bringing them in. And once we got them in there, I really enjoyed this convention. I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys were there and saw the grin on my face when I was handing out the awards for model contest, but that was a highlight for me. It really was. And speaking of the model contest, I think we can go through that. And then at the end, I don't really have a formal ending slide. So at the end, we'll take questions and stuff. So I'm going to go blasting through here. If anybody's got a question, sing out. Okay, Rod Locomotive, second place, Aaron Ross for a Lego K28. I didn't know Lego had a set for a K28. First place, Chris Thompson, HON3 cog locomotive. You don't often see a cog locomotive, and it's definitely in the narrow gauge. Let's see, geared locomotives, third place, Art Bloomer for an ON18 Baby Shay. I believe, I don't have a photo of the opposite side, but the drive cylinder for this Shay was about the same size as the air pump. And then a real nice 3-truck Shay from Brian Post, second place. Geared locomotive, first place went to Kevin Jones for a Climax-ish loco. Another one of these homemade things. Let's see. First place, Al Collins for ON30 rail bus. It really does look like a bus conversion. Kind of reminiscent of galloping geese. Special equipment, third place, Lowell Ross for a Holt 120 tractor. And this was one of my favorites, was the little Booker T, the coal barge, basically. Al Collins got second place for his coal barge. Well done model. All these were really, really well done models, I'll tell you. Special equipment, first place went to Hugh Blaney for HON3 crane, I think that was OP. Maintenance away, third place, Hugh Blaney for DNRGW spreader OV. And then a bunk car, number 010145 went to Dan Stoichen. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, second place. First place went to Lourdes McQuarrie for pile driver OV. Let's see what's next. Freight cars, Dave Zolniak, SG and N gown number 20 or 2001 actually. The photos are cutting off the end of my thing here. Freight car, second place, David Zolniak, SRR baggage car, Sandy River Rangeley. First place, Larry Alfred for SJM&P Company or car. Passenger cars, third place went to Joe Mezick for an FN3, a really big scale, RPO 62. Second place, David Zelniak again for Red Mountain Combine. First place, David Zelniak for Sandy River Rangeley mail car. So excuse me, Silverton Railway mail car. And third place for cabooses went to Martin Wade for DNRGW 0574, full interior on that one. And then there was a really, you talk about a short caboose, that's a short caboose. Okay. Second place, Rick Perry for 132nd N20 caboose, unusual scale. First place went to Larry Deal for an SJM&P Company number 3. And then for logging equipment, third place went to John W. Cox for RGS Log Car 18. Let's see, logging equipment, second place, Art Bloomer, FN3 Steam Donkey. There was a lot of equipment in here, a lot of donkey engines. First place, Jeff Book, S-Scale Steam Donkey. And then this was probably the tallest, skinniest structure there. Third place went to Tom Farrell for his coal mine. And if you look, he's got a lot of layers of sedimentary rock there. Let's see. Second place, Brian Block for his machine shop. First place for Al Collins, wharf building. This picture doesn't do it justice. It was really nicely done. Dioramas. Third place went to Mike Conder for Lars 28 cable. Second place, Art Bloomer, water tower. First place, Tom Farrell for the coal tipple, very highly detailed coal tipple. For modules, near and dear to my heart, third place went to Crow's Nest Tramway to Craig Perry. Second place, Tuscarora Valley, George Pearson. First place for modules, Elk Creek Lumber SN2, Warren Judge. For modular layouts, third place went to the Ophir Loop Confederacy for their HON3 RGS layout. Second place went to the Mud Hens, yay! For our layout, we had quite an extensive one there. And first place for modular layouts, this was somebody who asked, hey, I've got something I'm building. Can I bring it to the convention? And I said, sure. And I'll tell you what, he brought a one-piece layout that was on giant casters. Tony Salvaggio got first place. He's in Springfield, Missouri for his ON30 layout. And this had 2 helixes in it, or helices in it, or whatever the plural is. Very well done.
Springfield, Illinois.
Springfield, Illinois. The square footer. We had a couple square footers in there. Third place went to Gil Flores for Estrella Rojo. Second place, Mike Engler, Jump Dog Nicks. And first place, Sam Swanson for King Wreckers. Animation, there was only one. And it was really imaginative. I liked this one. It was first place went to Jim Schultz for Roy's Robot Repair. And if you look in there, you can see a lot of different robots. We'll go on to the photography contest. For photograph of models, third place went to Keith Stampler, number 60 at the tank. Second place went to Keith Stampler, number 70 on the bridge. And first place went to Keith Stampler. Tell you, he's banging on all cylinders here, ready at the roundhouse. Photographs for prototypes. Third place went to Jerry Bankson. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Jerry. Roaring Camp. Second place, Kevin Sharrow, Woodburners. And first place, Jerry Bankston, Hubris Toltec. Thinking he had to have been standing on a monument in order to get that photo of 47 coming out of the tunnel. We're debating that. Anyway, the Bachman Award went to Al Collins for his ON30 rail bus. Bachman Awards are awarded to anybody who uses Bachman ON30 as the basis of their model. And the Millwood Memorial went to Jeff Book for our Hyde Tannery in S scale. This was quite a large model. Best of show photograph, Ron Rand's number 40 at Silver Plume. Best of show models, Tom Doge for Nolan's Machine Shop. And that's it. I'm going to stop sharing, but I'm always happy to talk about the convention. And for future conventions, I'm not volunteering a whole lot, but if anybody needs advice, Chuck and I are certainly available to help anybody with their convention.